Hello everyone, how are we all doing? How have the last classes been? I hope they are understandable. I hope they're explanatory, right? So today we are going to be talking about understanding intrusion detection system, that is IDS. So here are the objectives for the class. Number one is to understand the basic concept of intrusion detection system and its importance. Identify the different types of IDS. Explain how IDS detects intrusions. Discuss different types of IDS alerts. Identify the challenges of deploying and managing IDS. All right, so let's get to it. So intrusion detection system IDS. An intrusion detection system is a security technology designed to monitor network or system activities for signs of unauthorized access, misuse, or malicious behavior. So the IDS goal, like IDS is a security tool, right? And what is that? What exactly is the goal of the security tool? Is that it monitors the network. So it checks the network, it checks system activities on that network to see any signs of unauthorized access. So is there a sign that an unauthorized user is accessing a particular thing? Is there a sign of misuse? Like, okay, it's an authorized user, but the authorized user is doing things that they are not supposed to do. Is there a sign of malicious behavior? Does this look like a harmful stuff is happening to the network? You get, so that is the point of an intrusion detection system. So it monitors the network. It's a security tool that monitors the network and monitors system devices. So the primary function of IDS is to identify and alert on suspicious and potentially harmful activities within the network or on a system. So the goal of this, like if you ask a network personnel or if you ask a cyber security personnel, okay, why should we have IDS in our network? Why should we use IDS as a security tool in our company's environment? The goal is to identify and alert on malicious or suspicious activities. So if there's a suspicious activities within the network or on a device or on a system, the goal of an IDS is to alert the administrator, alert the network personnel, or alert the cybersecurity personnel, you get, so that they can handle it and do the needful. So why is it important? Why are we talking about IDS? Why is it something that we need to like take note of? You get, so number one is for early threat detection. So early threat detection simply means that you want to find out the threat on time. You get, so IDS can detect security incidents and abnormalities in real time or near real time, allowing organizations to identify and respond to threats early. So basically, early detection simply means that, once this malware occur or once there's a suspicious behavior, right, IDS has the potential to report as early as possible to detect this information or to detect this attack as early as possible. And the next one is threat identification and classification. IDS can identify a wide range of security threats such as intrusion attempt, malware infection, unauthorized access, data breach, denial of service. So basically, it has a wide range of detection spectrum. You get, so it can detect a wide range of activities or a wide range of threats. So it can detect things like intrusion attempt. Okay, unauthorized user is trying to what do you call it? Is trying to access the network. Somebody is trying to intrude, stuff like that. It can detect that. It can detect malware infection. So if, for example, a malicious software has been downloaded into the company's network, it can detect that. It can detect denial of service attack. So when we talked about denial of service attack, and that's when an attacker is trying to bombard the organization web service or bombard the organization network to prevent the network from being available to the rightful users. You understand? So IDS is able to detect denial of service activity or attack rather. So basically, like, it has a wide range of spectrum. So it can use predefined signatures or it can use behavioral patterns. You get. So the next one is improve incident response. So by providing alerts and detailed information about security incidents. IDS enable organization to respond promptly and effectively. So when I say improve security in incident response, so incident response simply means that um the lifetime of when an incident occur, right? To when the incident is mitigated and when the what they call that, the threat has been removed, you get, and when there is a when the system has been put back in order, basically. So with IDS, it improves incident response in the sense that it provides detailed information to the administrators, to the network administrators, to the cybersecurity analysts, to enable or to help the organization to respond appropriately and effectively to that particular threat, you get. So the next thing is reducing dwell time. So what is dwell time? Dwell time is the duration in which a threat or an attack can remain undetected within an organization. So dwell time is when, okay, a cyber attacker gains access to an organization, and how long he can stay there in that organization without being detected. You understand? Some people are really good and they can stay years, 2 years, 3 years without being detected. But with IDS reduce the dwell time, reduce the number of time a threat or the amount of time a threat can stay in an organization's resources or in an organization network without being detected. So that is the goal, or that's one of the benefits, one of the good benefits of IDS. The next one is compliance and reporting. IDS assists organizations in meeting regulatory and compliance requirements by providing evidence of security monitoring, incident response capacity. So compliance and reporting in the sense that um the the we have a lot of regulatory bodies in cybersecurity, right? So IDS assists organization into meeting those requirements by the regulatory bodies, we get. Then the next one is protect against zero-day attack. So some IDS make use of abnormality detection techniques. So which means that it identifies behaviors that are away from like the baseline behavior. So abnormality detection simply means that, okay, it looks at how things happen in the network, how activities flow from one person to the other, and then it creates a baseline that, okay, if this thing happen, we know that this is part of the user's behavior. You understand? This is part of the user behavior in this organization or in this system, you get. But once it now deviates, once there is now something else that is looking suspicious, you get, it can be able to detect it, and which helps um detect unknown threats or zero-day threats that don't really have signatures, you get. So the next one is network and access visibility. IDS provides insight into network traffic and activity, which can help organization gain better visibility into their network. The visibility is valuable for network optimization and security planning. So with IDS, you can have a view of your network traffic. You can say, okay, this is what is going on in my organization. This is the threat, or this is the traffic, or these are the activities that are going on in my organization. You understand? That way you have like you get a more pictorial view of, okay, these are the things that are happening. You can now do better security plan, you understand. Then the next thing is prevention of data loss. So some IDS can identify and alert on data filtration attempt. That is when traffic is leaving the network, you understand. When traffic is leaving the network, they can detect that, okay, this the information that is leaving this network is more of like a sensitive information. So it will detect, or it will alert the administrator, it will alert the network personnel, and to alert the cybersecurity analyst and say, okay, come and see, oh, this information seems like a very sensitive information to be leaving the network in this amount. So the next thing now is the different types of IDS. So what are the different types of IDS? So there are two main types of IDS. We have the network intrusion detection system, and then we have the host-based intrusion detection system. That's NIDS and HIDS. So NIDS monitors network traffic for malicious activities. They are typically deployed um at strategic points in a network, such as a parameter or the network or between network segments. So the goal of the network intrusion detection system is to monitor network traffic for malicious activities. It monitors the network, as the name implies, network intrusion detection system. So the bulk of the work is on the network. Like, okay, I'm monitoring the network, I'm checking for malicious activities they get. So it can help to detect a wide range of threats such as denial of service attack. So denial of service attack is when an attacker attempts to like flood the network or flood the services with traffic, which makes it unavailable for the legitimate user. So with NIDS, you can be able to detect and block all those denial of service attacks or denial of service attack traffics you get. Then the next one is port scan. So the NIDS can be able to identify when a traffic is opening different ports on the network. You get, so attackers sometimes will do a port scan across the network to see which ports that are open so that they can exploit. You get, so but IDS network intrusion detection system can be able to detect that okay a port scan is occurring and then block it. You understand? Then the next one is unauthorized access attempt. So NIDS can detect unauthorized access attempt such as login to system using stolen credentials. You get, so that's one of the um threats that NIDS can detect. And the last one is malware infection. NIDS can detect malware infection such as viruses, worms, and Trojan horses. So the next one is host-based intrusion detection system. So this one monitors individual system for malicious activities. We said that NIDS monitors the network, right? The whole network, while HIDS monitors based on the host, individual systems, you understand? So things like your servers now. So let's say organization has a server where they store maybe their database or something, or where they keep their web service and stuff like that. They can put a HIDS there in order to be able to monitor that particular server, that particular workstation, or any other critical system. HIDS can detect a wide range of threats. Number one, file system changes. HIDS can detect changes to file such as creation and modification of the deletion of files. This can be used to detect malware infection or unauthorized access attempt. So one thing is that HIDS can detect file system changes. So if there's a change in a particular file, whether it's the creation, whether it's the modification, whether it's deletion of files, right, can detect it. And so sometimes when a malware occur in a system, it starts modifying files, it starts deleting files, HIDS will be able to pick up that behavior and raise an alarm. You get. Then the next one is running processes. HIDS can monitor the running processes on a system and detect unauthorized or malicious process. So for example, HIDS can actually monitor the processes that are running on a particular system, and sometimes, right, an attacker can what they call camouflage a particular process, right, to camouflage, like maybe a calculator will now be making calls to the internet, you understand? So HIDS can detect that, and then it can put an end to it, it can stop it, it can alert the security personnel. Then system logs. HIDS can monitor system log for suspicious activities such as failed login attempts or error. So yes, so these are the threats that HIDS can detect. You get. So we have two types. We have the network based intrusion detection system, and we have the host based intrusion detection system. So how do IDS detect intrusions. How do they detect intrusions? So there are two ways by which IDS detect intrusions. Number one, we have the signature based detection and we have the abnormally based detection. So signature based detection involve comparing the network traffic or the system activity to a database of known attack signature. An attack signature is a unique pattern of data that is associated with a particular attack. So basically what signature based detection means is that the IDS what the IDS do is that when it's monitoring or when it is looking through the network or is looking through the system, it is comparing the traffic, it is comparing the system activities with a database of known attacks. So you understand known attack signatures, and these signatures are like patterns of data or unique patterns of data that that particular attack will execute. So let's say for example now for um DDoS attack, that's denial of service attack, right? We have a particular signatures for DDoS attack. We know, okay, if this and this and this is happening, this is a signature based attack. You understand? So what the signature based detection will do is that it will be comparing the network traffic to the DDoS signatures, and when it detects that okay this information or this behavior falls like matches this particular signature, it will flag it as a potential intrusion. Then the next one is intrusion based detection. Sorry, abnormally based in detection. So this involves network traffic or system traffic for unusual or suspicious behavior. Like I explained, right, the abnormally based detection, simply what it does is that it looks through the activities in a network or the activities in a system and creates or a baseline for normal behavior and say okay, if this and this and this are happening, this is normal behavior. If this and this and this are happening, this is normal behavior. Now the IDS will now start detecting like anything that goes away or anything that deviates from that normal baseline behavior, you get, and to now flag it as potential intrusion. So some IDS can make use of the two of them. They can make use of signature based or they can make use of abnormally based detection. So they use both of them for more accuracy. So the signature based can be used to detect known attacks, while the abnormally can be used to detect new or unknown attacks. So here are some examples. So for signature based, an IDS can detect a denial of service attack by comparing network traffic to a database of known denial of service attack signatures. Exactly. So what it's doing is that for signature based, it's comparing okay the network attacks to a database of known denial of service attack signatures. So there are different denial of service attack signatures. You can compare to it. Then abnormally based detection. This is when IDS can detect port scan by monitoring network traffic for a number of connection attempts to different ports. So with abnormally, you can be able to detect that okay, somebody is trying to do a port scan again because maybe on a normal day, this particular host or this particular IP address does not just only communicate to like 10 IP addresses in a day. And all of a sudden, this particular IP address is now communicating with about 200 IP addresses and is scanning the port. So it will raise that as a red flag. It will raise that as a flag and call the attention or send an alert to the administrator. So the signature based and abnormally based detection. An IDS can detect a malware infection by comparing system activities to a database for known malware signatures and by monitoring system activities for unusual or suspicious behavior such as large number of file change or failed login attempt. So both this signature based and the both the signature based and the abnormally based detection can be used to detect malware infection. So the signature based can compare the malware signature with that of the malware database signature, while the abnormally based one can use suspicious behaviors or usual behaviors to detect whether okay this might be a malware attack. You get. So intrusion detection alert, that's IDS alert. So intrusion detection system types of um various types of alerts. You get. So the intrusion detection system generates various types of alerts to notify the administrator and security personnel about potential security threats or suspicious activities. This alert provides valuable information for incident response and threat mitigation. So basically, IDS alerts are simply to notify security administrators or the security personnel. So there are different types of intrusion detection alerts. So number one, we have the high priority alert. So when the high priority alert is triggered, right, it shows that this is a severe security threat, right, and it requires immediate intervention, immediate attention and investigation. You get. So high priority alert means that drop everything you're doing and come and check what is going on. You understand? So the next one is medium priority alert. So medium priority alert indicate po suspicious behaviour, right, or a suspicious or a security event that requires like investigation, but it's not as critical as high priority alert. So medium priority alert is indicating that there's a suspicious behaviour, but it's not as high as, or it's not as critical as the high priority alert, but it means that you should also investigate on this matter as quick as possible, because if you leave medium priority alert for a while, it can end up becoming a high priority alert where everybody will be running up and down and trying to figure out what went wrong. And then the next one is the low priority alert. So the low priority alert are triggered for activities that are worth monitoring but not represent an immediate threat. So basically they are low what they call it, low effect, you understand. So they are basically like, okay, this is what's monitoring, this is a situation that requires you to check or monitor across time, right? You get. But it's not something that requires like that immediate it's like, it's not like an immediate threat that if you don't respond to it now everything will scatter. No, you get. It's low priority. You get. But it's also very important that it's looked at, not because it's low priority that the security personnel will not look at this. You get. So the next thing is false positive. So false positive simply means that when the idea generates an alert for a normal activity, right, and mistaking it as a security threat. So this happen when okay, something that's supposed to be normal, something that was a security threat, the IDS has alerted the um administrator that, oh, come and see, oh, this is security threat. Meanwhile, it is actually not a security threat. We get. So it's false positive. So it is very important to reduce false positive so that to avoid fatigue from the security personnel. Just imagine that every time you come and check, you are seeing false positive every time. All of a sudden you become very tired, like abeg, why is it always reading out false positives? You understand? So the next one is false negative. So false negative are alerts that should have triggered but were missed by the IDS. So this is like when the IDS has a failure to report a particular incident. So that is false negative alert. Then the next one is intrusion alert. So intrusions are the intrusion alerts are generated when an unauthorized access or an intrusion attempt occur. So when there's an intrusion attempt or an unauthorized access that occur, it is called an intrusion alert. So the next one is a malware alert. A malware alert occurs when the IDS detect presence of malicious software such as virus, trojan and the rest. So that is called a malware alert. So a denial of service alert is are generated when the IDS can be able to detect a DDoS, a DOS attack, can be able to detect an extremely volume of network traffic targeting a particular system, a particular service. So that is DOS alerts. So we have brute force alert. So brute force alert occurs when the IDS detect repeated attempts to log in. So when it detects brute force activities, that is called a brute force alert. Then we have the policy violation alert. So the policy violation alert occurs when IDS detects a system violation, a system policy violation, a network policy violation. You get. And the next one is data infiltration alert. The data infiltration alert are generated when the IDS can be able to detect when there are sensitive information that is being transferred outside the network. You understand? So that is called data infiltration alerts. Then unusual behavior alerts. Unusual behavior alerts are triggered when the IDS detect activities that deviate significantly from established baseline or user behavior. So when we have a baseline, we know these are what these users do, and all of a sudden a particular user is doing way out of what he's supposed to be doing. That is called an unusual behavior alert. So the IDS will report to the admin that will come and check this user. You understand? So that is unusual behavior alert. And the next one is privilege escalation alert. Privilege escalation alert notifies administrators when the IDS detect attempt to gain unauthorized access to higher level privileges or administration roles. So this is when a particular role or a particular person is trying to gain access to a higher level privilege. Again, so that is privilege escalation alert. So when the IDS detects it, that's it. So basically the IDS alert is basically all the kinds of alerts that the IDS can detect and many much more. You get, but like the main thing you should notice that there is the three main types of alerts, which is the high priority. Any alert can come in this form: high priority, medium priority, or low priority. You understand? So it can be a brute force attack alert, it might be a malware alert, it might be an intrusion alert, but it will come as high priority, low priority, or medium priority. And we have the false positive, which is when a normal alert has been identified or mistakenly identified as a security threat. And then we have false negative. This is when like the IDS misses the opportunity to detect and to alert a potential security incident. You want to make sure that the false negative is as low as possible in your environment. So what are the challenges, right? So what are the challenges of deploying um and managing IDS? So number one is tuning and false positives. So IDS can generate significant number of false positive, which are alerts for binging activities mistaken as threat. So basically these are where like normal activities are mistaken as threat, and IDS sometimes generate a number of this kind of alert, the number of false positive. So as the administrator, right, you have to be able to configure the IDS in order to reduce false positive, which can be very challenging because apart as you are reducing false positive, you also want it to maintain a high detection accuracy. You understand? So that's one of the challenges. One challenge is the configuration. One challenge is ensuring that I want to reduce false positive giving, but I also want to ensure that as I'm reducing false positive, I am not in turn reducing the detection accuracy. Then the next one is alert overload. So volumes of alert produced by IDS can be overwhelming to the security team. Managing a large number of alerts and ensuring that the critical ones are addressed promptly is a significant challenge. Yes, sometimes in a network you can have different alerts coming in, right? And it can be very overwhelming for the security team. You get, because what they need to do is that they need to ensure that the high priority are handled very quickly, medium priority are investigated, low priority are monitored. You understand? And this can be very overwhelming, especially if the team does not have a lot of hands. And the next one is customization and configuration. So basically, once you get an IDS, as an organization, you need to configure that IDS and fine tune it to be able to meet your organization specific network requirements. You understand? So that it can be able to fit your organization. So the process of configuring, managing, maintaining can be very, very time consuming. Then the next one is network complexity. In large and complex organizations or a large and complex network, deploying and managing IDS can be challenging. You understand? Ensuring adequate coverage, monitoring all network segments, including the cloud and the virtualized environment, can be complex. So yeah, so if your network is complicated, if you have on-prem and you have cloud as well, you get everything because you want the IDS to be able to monitor all the networks in your all the network segments in your organization. It can be quite complicated to ensure that. So tips for deploying and managing IDS. Number one, the organization has to choose the right IDS. Yes, you need to do your due diligence, you need to research, right? Choose the right IDS. Number two is to deploy the carefully deploy the IDS. If possible, ask for expertise to help to deploy the IDS. So you need to have a wide range of covering. You understand? So configure the IDS to generate the right type of alert and to minimize false positive. Then we have manage IDS alert effectively, tune the IDS regularly, and consider outsourcing IDS management to an MSSP. So an MSSP is basically an organization that's in charge of handling security stops or security incidents or security tasks for an organization. So if managing that IDS would be an issue, outsource it. Let an MSSP be the ones to be managing it for you. You understand? That way it will help it will no longer be causing so much fatigue if the security team is a little like a small amount of security team. While you outsource the security team can now focus on doing other things. So what is our discussion? So what's the main difference between network-based IDS and the host-based IDS? We talked about network-based, that it monitors the network, while host-based monitor individual devices, right? So what is the core difference? Go through the notes, research, and just think about it. Then can you explain the concept of false positives and false negative in IDS alert? We talked about false positive, we talked about false negative, right? Can you explain that concept? And what are the differences between IDS and intrusion prevention system? So we are talking about today, our discussion is IDS. So what's the difference between IDS and IPS? You understand? Then if you have any questions, please send them to this particular link. Then your assignments. So what is the difference between IDS and intrusion prevention system? So you can write a documentation on that. And how can you ensure that IDS scales to accommodate network growth and increase traffic? So for example, let's say you start an organization with a small amount of devices, with a small amount of network a small like network coverage. So how do you ensure that okay, as your organization grow and more informations are added, more devices are added, how do you ensure that these ideas can be able to protect more networks or more network devices as they come into the organization? You get. All right, thank you very much for the class. Do have a very wonderful day. Bye.